So we have confirmed that we have a quorum,
Yes.
and that we've also met all the obligations for the Open Meetings Act.
Yes.
All that. So, okay. Well, at this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order, and we'll start with the roll call.
All right. Phil Black, he is here. He's just away. Jarrett Morris,
Here.
Tom Bell, Kelly Witt, Whitty here. Whitty.
Phil is here. Sorry, I couldn't get to my phone.
Brenda Shawi,
She's waving.
Ann Hoekstra, here. Christina Hill, and Casey McCoy.
Okay, thank you. So next on the agenda would be Citizens Forum, and I don't see anybody here. So, and I guess anybody online that's I don't see up there. Okay, we'll move on. Let's see. So number 4, the public hearings and items scheduled for certain times. It says none, so we don't have anything to discuss there. Meeting minutes.
There are a few changes or things found.
Okay. Anne, would you?
Actually, Kelly found them. If she could help
Okay.
share what those are.
You can verbally.
Okay. I printed off before the minutes were changed, so let me look over here really fast. On the, I'll get to it on this one. I apologize. I printed off the ones prior. On the top,
Yes, we
similar,
caught that
and
very
that one
last
you
second.
guys did change on some of those. The very bottom bullet on meeting minutes, it says February 13th, but I think should be August 7th. The first page, very bottom bullet, where it says February 13th, I believe it should be August meeting. The back page of that, under the first title, says 2026 Solid Waste Management. Under number 1, the last, on date, it has 25. I believe that was looking into the future for 26.
Okay.
With those changes noted, I'll make a motion.
May I also, the part about on the committee and the standing of who's chair and things like that was different. You had pointed that out.
Oh, in the December meeting, Phil made a motion for Jarrett to be chair and for Ann to be vice chair.
And so on
It's
the
just on this chart, if they can see online, the roll call chart.
Okay.
Yeah, but that wasn't necessarily a minute adjustment.
thank you.
All right. Thank you for that. Are there any other additions or corrections to be brought for the minutes? Okay. Seeing anybody else? Kelly, did you start to make a motion to?
Yes, with the changes discussed.
Okay. So it's been moved that we accept the minutes as they've been amended. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, raise your hands. Looks like it passes. I'm not sure what the vote total is, but okay. Moving on, administration status report for general service operations.
Yes, so the sanitation building, I know we discussed the soil contamination that we found at the location we were gonna build it over by General Services. Right now, the plan for that is to put it at the landfill. We're trying to design putting that building at the landfill and scratching the sanitation building altogether for now until we find a better solution, rather than trying to dig up the contaminated soil and build there. So that is the plan for that right now. Do you have anything to add, Sean?
No,
No.
that's it.
The scale house, so we are getting really close to having a complete design for that, which will be very important because the scale right now is limping along. So there's structural corrosion and it could fail at any time. So we're going to try to push that project as quickly as possible.
If that scale does fail, what do you do?
Then I've talked to Sanitation, they do the maintenance on it. They're not allowed to cut out and replace those real bad corroded areas, but they can try to brace it and support it. Or worst case, we'll rent a temporary scale and run operations. It may cause some downtime. We don't know exactly what that'll look like. Probably availability of the scale to get delivered and set up and all that. But yeah, we do have a little bit of a backup. Other than that, hopefully, it's kind of wait to see kind of what happens. Hopefully, I don't think it's worth the investment of what they might have to do because they can't cut them out and replace them because the state won't certify them.
Oh.
So there's not the option of that to get it. Obviously, they would like to try to sell us some new scale, but we're not using that same style for the scale house, so that's not quite the option. So, but they do offer rentals that we can use temporarily.
Okay, thank you.
The last thing that I had was I kind of wrote up an annual report for the committee, and so I just wanted to review those things and get an idea if you have anything else to add to this. So for accomplishments, we had members of the committee and city staff attend the Recycling the Core conference last year, gaining insight into educating the community, and then we did, as a city staff, visit the Abilene Recycling Center, and Phil went as well to learn about best practices of local community recycling efforts. We filled the hard-to-fill third-class city candidate and position, and we successfully reviewed and approved the annual update to the plan. Is there any other accomplishments that anybody has to add for 2025?
I don't know if this counts, but Brent, holy crud, I'm having a bad day. Brent Curtis, yeah. He and I at the Friends of the River, we made contact and we've gotten buses, and we are preparing to do a diversion day, and with Sean and Hilden too. So that will be April. You guys remember, is it the 23rd?
Is what I have in my head.
That's what I have in my head, but let me double check for that. So that's exciting to have the ability to get into the schools and in a kind of a just a starter program. That is, the 23rd. So teaching them about, and then going in prior to that day with an edible landfill program. So teaching them about the landfill, so when they get to the landfill, they have some prior knowledge so that they can build upon that. And then we will also go to the river and talk about how trash stuff can get in the river and what can go in the landfill, or what can be diverted, from the river and the landfill. And then be at the recycling center. So
Yeah.
So
I think that's great.
we're really excited, and hopefully this will go really well, and then we'll be able to kind of expand perhaps. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is exciting. Thank you.
All right, sounds great.
So that's what I have for our accomplishments, and then I put the goals in here that you guys talked about last meeting. So that is all I have.
Okay, thank you. Item 6.2, status report on sanitation. HHW and SDRC operations.
Okay. The first slide in that section of the packet is called Sanitation Customers Collected. I guess the takeaway from this particular slide would be on the left side, there's a chart that shows in 2020 was our highest customer count at the time. That's right before we switched to automation. During the automation, we lost roughly 300 customers. So you'll see it dip down over the next couple of years, and now it's slowly climbing back up. So we're slowly, I think, regaining back some of the customers we lost, and I'm sure the city's probably getting a little bigger too, just picking up new customers. But
What with automation change?
no more items outside the cart.
Okay,
So a lot of customers, I shouldn't say a lot, 300 customers switched to Salina Waste or Hometown to maintain that, being able to put items outside the cart.
without it being, okay.
And probably not have to follow the automated collection set out guidelines of carts facing forward,
Okay.
just less stringent. Which is less customers than we expected, because that was a big change,
Yeah.
not being able to have items outside your cart. So there's not a lot going on this chart, but that's good. It just shows that we're maintaining customer service and keeping the customers we have. Next page, the annual tonnage report. This just kind of shows the history of how much material we've collected. The first column is the refuse routes. This is just strictly the trucks that are collecting carts from customers on a trash route. So we did in 25, 16,000 tons. That's 620 tons right next to it. That is special pickups. It fluctuates from year to year. The better the weather, the more customers do more yard work, home renovation, so then we may have more special pickups. We don't do yard waste separately anymore, so it's a 0. The following column is subscription recycling, which we don't do anymore, 0. But e-waste, we did 17 tons of e-waste at the last year's e-waste event. We recently just got approved for year-round e-waste collection at the recycling center, so we're currently shopping for the equipment that we need to get that stood up and the storage containers that we'll need to store the e-waste prior to having a company come and pick it up. So hopefully in the next 2 to 3 months we'll have year-round e-waste available at the recycling center.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
The drive-through recycling center is on the far right. We did 747 tons, which seems to be right on pace with what we've done the last 2 or 3 years. Seems like we've kind of leveled off and consistently get the same amount of material these days. If we move on to the next chart, that's the household hazardous waste. This can kind of go up and down depending on the weather. Since it's open to the public, drop off on Thursdays. You can come any time of the week, you just need to set up an appointment, but Thursdays being the big day we're open for drop off. If you get too many cold days on a Thursday, it can sure slow down how much material you bring in. But we had 86,000 pounds come through the facility. We had 564 customers last year use the reuse program, where if we get items in that we're allowed to put back out for reuse, we do. And so we had 564 people use that program. And then our total customers that dropped off was 3,000. So it's pretty much right on pace. Next page, this is a more detailed breakdown of what was accepted at the household hazardous waste facility, but it will again tell you the pounds collected of 86,000, almost 87,000 pounds. So it's just more information if you're interested. The next slide I have in the packet is the recycling center. And kind of the interesting thing for me in this one is that in 23 and 24 we had 70,000 customers pretty consistently, even right there. And then in 25 we had, 72,700. And when I say customers, I should say vehicles that come through the facility. I don't know for sure if that's one person comes 72,000 times or if it's 72,000 different customers. But we brought in 747 tons, which is 3 categories over. So we actually brought in a few tons less, but had almost 3,000 more vehicles come through. So I don't know if people are bringing a little less in, maybe coming more frequent because it's so convenient that they don't wait once every week and a half. They are coming once every week or The person that comes every 4 weeks is now coming every 2. But it's kind of interesting. Our tonnage is leveled off, but our participation, our vehicles coming through, has increased. We still average in the last 3 years about 21 pounds per drop-off. That's a big average because we can have a truck come through and it takes 10 minutes to unload all the cardboard, which is obviously more than 21 pounds. And then the person that'll come through every 3 days with their Dillon sack and just hand it to us. So it's, but we just kind of use the 21. We use the average just to kind of gauge how we're doing. There's a lot of information in here. I'm just going to kind of bounce around. So I don't feel like you have to follow. But 2019 was our first year, and in 2025 we were up 46% in our customer vehicles driving through, which is a big change. I'm going to flip the page. In 2018, on a Wednesday, we would have 242 cars on average. In 2025, we now have 365. So we went from
On a Wednesday.
yeah, on average.
Yeah, that seems like a lot of people coming
Yeah,
through.
a 51% increase since when we opened. That, I call it a heat map, but that green will show you the lightest days of, I guess, of that scenario, and then the red being the heaviest. So right now, Saturdays in 2025 is our heaviest day with 411 vehicles coming through there in one day, which is a lot of vehicles. Like,
It seems like that would be consistent throughout the entire day of vehicles.
yeah. In 2025, on Wednesday morning, which is the first day we're open, we averaged 24 vehicles in 30 minutes. So it's pretty nonstop. That's on the next slide. On a Saturday, we're averaging 29 vehicles in 30 minutes. So you'll have definitely times where you get 35 vehicles in 30 minutes. You're trying to keep them going through so you don't back up cars onto.
I was going to ask, do you ever get cars out onto Santa Fe?
Yep. We actually track that. I don't know the number, but we do track that. It's not too terrible frequent like it used to be. We now have a third staff person over there, which has helped immensely. We've actually had people ask us if our customer count's gone down because the weight has gone down. So, no, it's that third person. It's that extra body just being in there and helping spread the workload around, making us a whole lot faster. This chart called average number of vehicles unloaded per 30 minutes. It's kind of interesting because it'll show you that on Saturday it's the highest in the morning, and you can see how it drops down. It's also interesting to me that when we first opened in 2019, maybe Wednesday was our big day, and now Saturday is. And Saturday was our slowest day. The guys would stand there and get kind of bored, and now they dread Saturday. It's just, as this has evolved, I think citizens have kind of figured out what works better for them, and it's changed. Now we're going to add some e-waste to this.
Yeah, right.
But I think we're ready. We've got this pretty well figured out, and we've stabilized, so I think we're ready to add more to it.
All of this planing has been really beneficial.
Yeah.
Do you think, or maybe, I'm sure you already have thought this, but if there was a way to make this chart more public, like on a Facebook page or something, do you think it might take some of those heavy traffic times and let people see that maybe if I wait an hour to go, I would get into a slower time? Do you think that would make a difference at all?
I don't feel like it would. I can't say it wouldn't. I think somebody would be mindful of it.
Because I do that at the gym, because
Yeah.
the gym tracks when it's real busy, and if it's busy, I don't go. I
Yeah,
wait till.
there may be a way to present the data differently to just show that these are our longest wait times. But it's interesting because if it's colder one day of the week than the rest, that day will be slower. So then I'll have somewhat misled people.
But again, like you said too, that the wait times aren't that long, so maybe it doesn't even matter to people.
You're
Yeah.
really efficient then, so we
Yeah.
appreciate you guys.
Yeah, they work hard.
And they're always friendly.
Yeah,
always.
they're pretty awesome. I saw them this morning.
We appreciate you doing that.
The last slide in my section there just kind of has line charts that shows you from week 1 of each year to the last week of each year, how how we ended at the end of the year. The first year, it's just flat lines all the way through the first half of the year. That's the year we started. You can see when we started. It's when it starts to have that uptick. And then the orange colored one that flattens out for a minute, that's when we were closed for COVID. So that kind of hurt that year.
Yeah.
We just didn't get the intake because we were closed. We did get a lot when we opened up that first week, though.
Yeah.
I'm sure you did.
That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you so
Everything
much.
looks pretty normal. Business as usual at the moment.
Thank you. Okay, status report on landfill operations.
Yeah, so the first one, I did want to point out a correction because I think it was me being new and not quite knowing how to properly math the pounds per person per day. So I wrote it down this year when I had to figure it out. So plus side is it pretty much evened it out so that, because I think, don't quote me on it, but I think I had like 5.37 pounds. So the way I did it with, I think I added extra material in there, not just the municipal solid waste, which is just your residential type trash. So we still again, so it should have been 4.95 in 2023. Is that right? Am I reading the wrong one?
4.95?
Yeah, should have been 2025 on there.
Mine should have the corrected version. The one
I
that
think
you,
the years are just listed wrong on that. I think
Okay.
that looks right.
It does automatically cut off when we put it in there sometimes. Yeah, they cut it off again.
good catch.
Let me see if I can pull up.
Because that's probably where your little star, your asterisk was for as of 12/31/25.
Yeah, I remember. I know. I know that looked consistent though. It didn't make a huge change. Well, once I corrected 2024's, 2025 was right in the.
Oh, that doesn't have it.
That was just
Does not have
24 as well.
2025 on it either.
I know I corrected this one. I hope I didn't.
There it
There
is.
it is.
Okay.
Kind of.
Can you click on the somewhere else from it?
Or did we just like kind of move it to the side?
Yeah, just put, move it to the side. Can you pick the,
Maybe you can find those where, maybe.
I don't know why, because it's only showing the 9 years there. It
it
should show 25.
they had 25 at the end of this one.
It should be whatever was on there. Oh, yeah.
No, that's not.
Yay.
All right, perfect. Yep.
Oh, good.
Oh, so actually, we
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
dropped.
it cut it off in the PDF.
Okay. So yeah,
It's too long.
dropped a little bit, which is good. A lot of it, I think, we did see a tonnage increase, and we'll get into that. But a lot more came into commercial wise with all the developments and stuff like that. Didn't necessarily show a spike, and I will admit there's always room for a little bit of operator error. We did have new attendance training last year, so them making sure everything's categorized right every time. I can't. Unfortunately, there's a lot of operator error that can play into that. But in general, we stayed relatively the same. I wasn't able to find anything different to ever look at changing the state average, so I left it the same. So I just want to put that part out there. Nothing was posted by KDHE or anything that I could find research-wise that showed a difference in the state average. But a lot of it might have to do with, I know KDHE's had a massive changeover. I know even some of the forms we submit might even take up to a year before they actually go through the whole process just due to their staffing changes. So I don't know that they've been working on that over the last few years of getting some of that information out there to make, to give me anything different on changes, so. Next would be the landfill tonnage. So what, biggest one on the top chart is gonna be, that due to the nicer weather that we had last year, we had kind of a longer, what is that? Those are limbs. Those are your, okay, so we seen it on, sorry, I had me a little bit confused. So we did see with the nicer weather, overall our peak season, at the landfill in general, it normally didn't usually kick up till May. We did notice limbs and waste kicked all the way back to March with that nice part, even with the heavy rains and stuff we had in the late summer and spring, all the commercial stuff going, all the development stuff going on, we had a pretty significant increase. Obviously this year, or for 2025, didn't have near as much yard waste as we did in 24. That would be on the bottom one. In 24, we had 9,000 tons of limbs. That had a lot to do with the windstorm we had in July, and then at the landfill we saw it really spike in August. Just that was when the city was delivering theirs, and then the commercials were coming out. So we kind of came back down to what our normal average is somewhere in between about 5,500, 6,000 tons in limbs. So
May I ask,
Yep.
how to, the removal of all those limbs and things from the river itself, how did that affect, or did that affect anything that much?
no, so that was
So what happened with that?
I specifically make sure that got pushed off because that was going to be a lot of limbs because they aren't going to be able to be burnt right away. They're so waterlogged
Yes.
it would take up a lot of space for us, and that and the distance for them to haul. They worked with wastewater, water utilities. They got the property out there towards the at the wastewater plant, and so they stored them there. So.
Okay. And so that will show up in 26 and this.
Nope, it won't come to me.
Oh,
They're
okay.
gonna they had
It was
that
a
with
separate contract and,
Yep.
Okay.
and the contractor deal.
And they're gonna burn them and not.
They're
dispose of
responsible.
them.
Yeah, they're
Okay,
responsible
understood.
for
Awesome,
burning.
thank you.
Yep.
And other than that, the long list of the next few pages is all just going to be comparisons of the residentials to commercials. I think I kind of did a rough average. Commercials are only about 15% of what our normal average limb intake was. That was just something I kind of started trying to figure out, looking at those, and it looked like it stayed pretty consistent through most of the years. So we still do get majority of it's all residential, and then the 15% would be your commercials. Moving on. Be the landfill tonnage disposal chart. That shows you your 10-year, actually it'd be kind of 11-year. I think I forgot to take 15 off. But we have seen a pretty significant increase over the 10 years, roughly about 10,000 tons of increase. The out of county has stayed pretty consistent. Again, I know there's a little bit of room for operator error in the scale house when they enter the vehicles they come in, but I do feel like probably with all the development stuff that we had, seeing the spike in Saline County is probably somewhat accurate. But I know when I was first training the first few attendants, I was making sure they knew to ask the right questions, but whether it was coming from Saline County or out of county, so that we can categorize those right. But yeah, we did about the last time we've seen numbers this high would have been or when we were still taking McPherson. So I think the highest we ever seen when McPherson was there was 104 tons. If I I could be slightly wrong, but I know it was over 100,000 tons. And we're kind of starting to knock on the doorstep there. I know we do have a few more counties that are interested, so we're not sure if we're gonna get more transfer stations in the next few years or not. But we are kind of the centrally located landfill, so we already take 5 counties primarily. Like one of the 5 is Dickinson. We basically get everything on the west half of Dickinson County, but a lot of the whatever goes to the transfer station, they all haul theirs to the east. I believe out to Ham's Quarry.
And why are some of those counties looking into?
A lot of them, I'm not 100% sure. I did have, through going to SWANA, one of the presidents who actually runs, John Hawk, who runs the McPherson County landfill, he had asked me, he didn't know if there was something on the private landfill that a lot of those haul to, which is in Topeka, Lawrence area. It'd be the Hams Rock Quarry. They also, as they do their mining, they have a landfill on the other half for whatever they've mined out. I don't know if they were looking at doing some type of change in their operations or if their fees were going up. But we did have a few inquiries that I know some of them, they contracted out the transfer station hauling for years. Like Cloud and Republic County, and so they actually, Hams would send a driver there to go pick up their trailers and bring it to their facility. I know that changed, their contract ended, but they had just bought a particular type of transfer station trailer that it's called a tipping trailer. So there's only 2 landfills in the state that have tippers. I'm gonna throw it out there, we do not want one. They're a safety nightmare and stuff like that, so we'll let the big landfills like that take them, but we require for the transfer stations they have to have a walking floor that basically kind of shuffles the trash, and it takes a little bit of time, about 20 minutes to empty a trailer, but they're pretty sufficient, and a lot less safety concerns when it comes to those trailers versus the tippers. They actually stand the trailer all the way up in the air on a hydraulic lift, and everything slides out the bottom of them. So, but if their other landfills start doing different changes, we could see a little bit different. And also, obvious whenever it comes to fees as they change and stuff, and they have different operational costs, they could change those. Then it could always push the other transfer stations or whatever to look at different contracts. So,
Would we ever want to use, increase our fees in order to kind of protect our space and make it,
I'm gonna probably pass that. So,
Yes,
okay.
Okay,
yes.
for
In fact-
out of county.
In fact, well, not so much that, I think. That's a little bit less of it because we have, 150, 160 years?
160 years is right now.
160 years capacity right now. So that's not a huge concern. Now, there are instances or there are situations where that could be a problem or it could cause concern. But when you look at the model for landfill children's operation, solid waste is self-sufficient. It's what we call an enterprise fund. So everything they bring in is what allows us to run it. And right now, we run out of money in 2031. Based
I
on the current
believe.
model.
I was hoping that some of the changes we did maybe helped that, but
Well, we haven't run those yet. We haven't
Okay.
programmed those in yet. But
Yeah, we
based
ran-
on last year's number, based on where we're sitting right now, at our current rate, we run out of money. We go in the red in 2031 at the landfill. So we're going to be talking this year about raising that. And instead, right now we do $2 a year increase on the tipping fee, which like in 25 it was 48, so now it's 50 this year. We're looking at making that a 4 or 5% annual increase, which would extend that. Would give us. We've got to run the numbers, take a look at what, where, if we increase it 4% over the next 10 years, where does that put us?
Right.
Or 5% over the next. So
Well,
yes, the answer is yes, but there's a long.
One of the things that, being a part of the Friends of the River, we find that a lot of people, or we have seen dumping of appliances and furniture and things like that in our historic river channel, and so that's not gonna. In the next few years, hopefully that won't be a thing. But what is there anything? And again, yeah, you solve one problem and then it might give you a different problem, and so trying to figure. I guess hopefully with the Reuse It Center or things like that and the Fix It Center, that will help to divert and keep things out of the landfill and the river.
Yeah.
So, I did notice on here, just as a question, on the 2025 out of county, it was, in 24 is 14,000, and then it went down to 11,000. Do you know why the drop on that?
I did see a couple counties, they just seem to haul a little bit less. I don't know whether they started doing different diversion efforts. They possibly could.
That'd be great.
But I'm trying to remember which one it was specifically. I've honestly looked at so many charts over the past few days. And since I'm out of the landfill, I don't get a laptop. Mine's just there. So otherwise I'd be able to look back and tell you which county it
No
was.
worries.
But I did remember seeing a couple. And also, again, that's where I also do think, during some of our training, they probably didn't ask that question. Like, hey, what county is this coming from? As they're first learning all these customers. It's gotten better, obviously. Most of them, once they're there a couple months, but we end up hiring two pretty quick back to back. They're usually paired up with the other two that were somewhat experienced, but even like when we hired the other one, one of the third ones, we got three that have all been there we hired it within the last year out of the four the training was always a process as far as making sure they kind of get in a rhythm of what do you have, where's it coming from type deal, and asking the right questions so they make sure they log it correctly. So that's why I did want to mention that I do think some of the numbers could be a little bit flawed, but I don't think they're too far off. But I do think I would think we were closer to the 14, but probably in reality, but I don't know exactly for sure.
No problem. Just was
Yep.
just curious. Thank you.
And then take this to switch. All right. Tires. So obviously looking all the way back to 2015, we have definitely seen a lot less tires. And then with those, our fee really didn't change a whole lot between 24 and 25. So I think that's where we stay consistent. We're still under the same contract. I would like to hope, because I believe, is it Saline County Farm Bureau? Does that sound right? That did the tire recycling in September. I worked with Leslie Manning, getting her a letter of recommendation to send to the state that they got a grant for. So they put on got actually a local FFA chapter to assist with their cleanup or their tire disposal. It was actually a bunch of the Southeast chapter, and was there anybody else from the other counties? Or I can't remember if there was any other FFA chapters, but either way, they got out there and helped do the tire disposal, and I know she had a pretty good turnout. So obviously that would always help. That is a free service when they do it as a one-day event that they do on a Saturday. But I know we had a lot of farm homesteads that came out and disposed of tires. That gave them a chance to get rid of some of their more expensive tractor tires that we would typically charge a higher rate for, and then also the cars and trucks and stuff like that. So look forward to probably working with Leslie again this year, and I would anticipate to probably see that again around September. I think her and I were going to talk and maybe try to get it closer. I think we can't remember if it was on our free landfill day or the weekend after, and maybe how we can kind of coordinate those together to kind of put them out and publicize them together.
Is that when they do fall fix up? Is that the same day?
That's what I was trying. It is so for us, the fall fix up for you guys is the same as our free landfill day.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's where your guys' vouchers and all that stuff come in.
Maybe I could tell you what next one.
And I couldn't quite remember if that tire disposal was on I feel like it was on the same Saturday, because I think I dropped my daughter off and then I picked her up when I was done. So
I think so. Yeah, I can't tell you. They haven't set the next one for fall yet. So, but once I find that out, I can share that with you.
okay, yep, and I'll reach out to Leslie, and like I said, I anticipate she got a pretty decent grant to be able to get it in. She chose the tire disposal Champlin that actually recycles the tires a little bit more. So hopefully all went to a good source as far as for what they're going to do with them. Scrap metal, we did stay pretty consistent. 122, a little bit higher than what we've seen. No, about 2016 was about the only other time we've seen a real high spike. And some of that, I don't know. Some people are pretty set; they're fine with bringing it out to us, and then others I know like to try to go in and recycle it themselves. But I don't think there's anything much changes or anticipate any changes from what we're at there.
I don't know if I've asked this question before, but with the scrap metal that you get, do you guys recycle that, or does it go in the landfill?
No, we recycle it. We
Oh,
take it into
fantastic.
all metal.
That's great. So when they bring the scrap metal to you, do they have to pay the dumping fee though?
Yes, they do.
Okay, so, all right.
But because most of the time they bring it in mixed,
Oh.
so they're already bringing other waste, and so we'll just kind of split them between put them in the convenience area box that's right next to the scrap metal as long as it's open or not too full, and then that way they can kind of toss out whatever the metal materials, they can toss it in the metal bin, and then and I will say that I'm pretty interested, and I'm trying to look at different ways to increase what our scrap metal is, because it also, like Ron was explaining, with any extra revenue we bring in, that helps us for our funding. So even if we can sort out different ways up on the fill, we just got to make sure it's going to be cost effective to however our operation is.
Awesome.
And I think that's it for me, right?
All right, well, thank you so much. I believe last meeting we discussed the goals to identify and recommend topics for the public education and such. And I believe this is what we had, and we're looking to approve them today.
Yes, we're approving the amendments we made last time, just to make sure that we got them all correct.
I'm just making sure that it says on here, focus area for 2025, we
Yes,
can get
it
that
will be
changed.
changed to 2026.
Okay. Well, after discussing this last week, last meeting, we made some amendments to it. Has everybody had a chance to kind of look through them? Does it look like what we want it to look like? I didn't see anything else on that, so. Well, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve these annual goals as we discussed.
I move that we approve the annual goals as we discussed.
Thank you. Second?
Kelly.
Kelly seconds. All right,
I'll-
thank you so much. All right, all in favor, raise your hand. Looks
We got it
unanimous.
unanimous.
All right, it's unanimous. Thank you so much, everybody. Okay, moving on to the next item agenda, 6.5, Zero Waste Initiative update from Phil Black in situ.
Hi, boys and girls.
Hey.
We've done a lot here. For those who haven't seen us before, I'm just real quickly going to turn the camera around so you can kind of see. So what we do is we weigh everything that comes in, and we are currently sitting at, one moment, please. Your business is very important to us. Please stay on the line. Come on. It is currently at, I've said that twice now, 27,943 pounds that we brought in since November 15th. So we're at, 14 tons, something like that. And the city was, you guys are just talking about your budget. Part of the reason you're going to need more is because the city's commission awarded us $162,500 Monday night. So that will go toward buying this building. And that was a long process to get there. But right now I'm by myself out here. So there's two of us that basically founded it, Gary Norris and I. I have two guys from OCCK that are with us from 1 to 4:30. and 8 to noon on Saturdays. So, but the word's getting out. More people are bringing things in, and I continue to be shocked, not only at the things that people bring in, but the things that people are willing to buy. So I think our diversionary efforts are off to a good start. At this point, we're averaging about, well, it's got to be more than that, probably 1.25 tons per week that are being diverted. And the big one is Homewood Suites Hotel downtown is replacing 99 dishwashers. And we have 15 of them in our truck, and we're going to take about 10 a week. I've coordinated with Manhattan Habitat for Humanity Restore and the McPherson Restore about taking them. They have a problem where now and then they'll just on their own turn off, and if you turn them off and turn them back on, or turn the circuit off and on, they come back on and they work. Beyond that, nobody knows what's going on, but that will, right now we have about 1,200 pounds in our, they're about 80 pounds each, so you can do the math, times roughly 100, that's going to be quite a bit that they said they definitely would have taken it to the landfill. They just didn't know what else to do. So on the one hand, I hate to not give you guys business, but on the other hand, I think it's a good thing if we can keep it out of the landfill. So that's pretty much it.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
Any questions?
Yeah, are you still looking at? So you're selling online now,
And we have a cash register. I'm the IT guy, and I finally got the cash register running. And so today I made a sale, and the lady used Apple Pay, and it worked beautifully. The problem we have is we don't have enough stock or inventory to really feel good about opening up full-scale on-site retail, and also we just don't have enough people. I also have a hand scanner, so if I'm out on the floor and somebody wants to buy something and they don't need a receipt and they're going to use a card, I can just do it right there and take care of it. This is radically different than I don't know what the Habitat Restores do. The McPherson, you go up the register, you go up to a table, and they have a stack of sticky notes, and they write down the department number of the item, and then they write the price, and you take the sticky note up to the register, then they enter all that information. It works great for them, but we felt like we're small enough that if we had to do that at our cash register, it would be a bottleneck. So we're doing all that up front so that when you get to our register, I just take my little hand scanner and scan it. And I walked probably 50 feet away and tried scanning, and it worked just fine. So I'm real pleased about that, but we're not quite ready for a full-blown retail site yet. Even though you can buy it here, I have a laptop set up. Somebody wants to get online and buy it rather than use their phone. So, it's a work in progress. It ain't what I thought I'd be doing at 71.
Thank you so much for heading that and pushing for it, and all the passion and all the energy that you put into it. I appreciate you and what you're doing for Salina, so thank you.
Well, you're welcome, but I haven't seen you out here yet.
I'm so dang busy.
I've seen Brenda, but I haven't. But yeah, so y'all come on out sometime. I think like 10 of the city staff showed up. Tiffany brought the whole group all at once. So love to have you come out. We'll show you around, and we're doing our part the best we can.
What are your hours again, so I can know when to come out?
Tuesday, Thursday, 1 to 7. Saturday, 8 to 5. And the co-founder, Gary Norris, who was the superintendent for USD 305 years ago, is now a realtor, is on vacation. So I'm out here by myself until he gets back a week from Saturday. So if anybody wants to volunteer, I'd love to have some people out Saturday so I don't have to kill myself running around. I was making sales while I was on this Zoom meeting. I ran over and made a sale on the cash register and was trying to, anyway. So I could use all the help I can get.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil.
You're welcome.
Moving on the agenda, item number 7, additional.
Well,
oh, sorry.
we can send one person to the Kansas Works Conference? For
The
the
core
conference?
the recycling conference.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed
So we-
missed that.
So we covered that. So I have, if you want to see,
We usually send 1 to 2 persons, just depending on interest.
so it is May 5th through the 7th in Manhattan.
Have fun.
And so you can have that one as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. So if anybody's
Tiffany?
interested- Yes.
Didn't we used to have enough in the budget for 2 people? Because I used to go as the chair, and they were always open for somebody else.
Yes. 2. You're correct.
Yeah, I would like to go, but if anybody, if 2 other people really want to go, that's okay. But I like it, so I'm weird that way.
So we'll meet again in April, if you want to decide then, but we'll count on you, Phil, and is anybody else interested?
I'm thinking about it. I need to know what's going on at work before I commit
Yeah.
to something like that. But is it where you drive out there each day and?
You can,
Yeah.
Several people from the city usually drive,
Right.
but you can stay, but the city doesn't pay for your hotel.
Right. Depends on, I mean, if you want to stay, I'm sure they have discounted rates.
Oh, I can't actually. I just realized I do have I've got a symposium I'm doing at Kansas Wesleyan, so I'm unfortunately out.
Okay.
So
Well, if,
I'm unavailable, so.
okay.
And we've got a huge accreditation inspection coming up at the zoo in May, so I'll have to see when that falls. But if the time allows, I'm interested.
Well, you can let us know
Yeah.
the next meeting.
We'll know our.
or if anyone else up there online.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now we're ready for other business or comments. Anything else anybody needs to bring up or?
I wanted to ask a quick question. When you talk
Yes,
about commercial haulers, you're talking about like the trash companies, right? You're not talking like about contractors, for example. Those are not in the commercial on the landfill. Is that correct?
no, I'd still consider, well, I guess pretty much anybody I would call a commercial if it's not residential, just like a residential citizen. If it's any type of company, we would call it commercial.
Other than
So
other
is
than
it-
your big haulers of residential waste, right? I mean, like Salina Waste, your other,
I still
Right.
label them as a commercial.
Do you?
Oh, well, I guess, are you asking
Like
like as
with
in
their-
for how we categorize it? MSW?
I'm just asking if there's a large contractor who's taking loads of stuff after the job, is that commercial or residential? I assume residential, but I didn't know. Does that make sense?
Well, I think it depends on what aspect of the waste you're talking. If it's actually just like construction debris, and then
Right.
it would just it'd be labeled as construction and demolition. Residential is just going to be what they consider MSW, which is going to be your household waste, like what Sean, any sanitation company, we'd still call them a commercial account, but it's residential waste. Now,
Okay, thank you.
When you get outside as far as categorizing them, it would break down into kind of calling a commercial it could be construction, it could be industrial, if that's coming from like a manufacturer facility. And then your other one would be like special waste, which would be they go through KDHE and get a SWAN permit or SWATA permit and all that other stuff. So,
Okay. Thank you.
yep.
I also have something before.
Yeah. And
Okay. I was just thinking, you know how you were saying you didn't have information on people coming through the recycling center about, you know, how many times they're coming through, or you just know that there's so many cars, but you don't know how often. Does that make sense? I wonder if you could do a quick little written survey that, you know, with maybe 4 questions, yes, no, about maybe like how often do you use our facility? How many totes or, you know, containers do you bring on average? And, you know, just hand it to the driver while it's being unloaded, boop, 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 oh, got that, and then you've got some information. So I didn't know if that might be something that would be helpful, just gathering data.
You mean to find how many different customers instead of just vehicle count?
Right. If you're curious about what, because you're just counting cars, and that's all you can do. But if you did take a survey saying, if you've already taken the survey, don't worry, we're going to do just one, but for the people who are coming in, and see if you can get that data that way.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we can talk to Sean about. Yeah,
Because whenever we do programming, we do like a half sheet of quick questions to get feedback on our program, and so that also could get feedback from that.
We attempted a questionnaire a couple of years back, and we only got 600 people to engage with it.
It was that,
But was it
I wonder if
digital
we do it-
questionnaire?
but it wasn't like, because we find that nobody responds to us if it's going to be like, get back to us online. They're not. But if you have a little half sheet, oh, I can do this. They're doing that thing.
like
So,
in person while they're grabbing the recycling? Yeah. I mean, I think that could work. Yeah.
And then my other one, real quick, was noticing that the I think back there, the reuse customers for household hazardous waste was down. Do we need to do any more advertising or kind of making sure that people are still aware that that is an available thing? Because you think you take your stuff in, but I don't know that not everyone is aware that there's stuff that you can get for free. And so just maybe a little.
Brenda wants to talk.
A little thing that, service announcement or whatever,
Yeah.
or maybe giving to people who are doing the recycling already, and letting them know, so.
Okay. Brenda, did you have something?
You're
Unmute, please.
Well, she can't unmute.
Okay. Can't you try talking and see what it
You could type it in a chat there, I think. Brenda. Or send me a text. I'll say it.
Oh, there. Oh, it finally did
You
it.
guys-
I kept pushing it, wouldn't do anything. Anyway, I know that they have that. I don't even know where it is, and I mean, I've heard that it's there, but where is it? The reuse.
The reuse
Oh.
center or the HHW?
Household hazardous waste.
Yeah, that one you're talking about when you have like paint and all that other stuff. Where is that?
So that's on Elm.
Is it at the drop-off site?
Yes.
315, yep.
Is it the same place?
Yeah, they have a storage area in one of their little buildings that you can pick up reused material.
Okay. Well, see, I knew they had it, but I had no idea. And I drop stuff off there all the time, but I didn't know they had other stuff. And then just a comment on well, he's gone probably. It says the household hazardous waste, and then it said that a bunch of the paint went to the landfill.
No, it wouldn't have came to us.
Well, it says somewhere in the household I can't look at it too while I'm on the Zoom. But it said, if you look at the paint thing.
So latex paints.
So is that after they're dried up, they take them down there?
Yes, they have to be
All right.
they have to be fully dried up. Yep.
Okay, that's what I was wanting to ask. But the rest of them, they'll go and you could go in some room, some special room somewhere.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just,
so it's just be just east of their big kind of. They have a privacy fence around it, but where their oil storage tank is, it's
Okay.
a little just to the east of it. So
Well, I think to Ann's thing is it probably needs a little bit more advertising. I mean, I have no idea when the hours are. Is it only Thursday on there, or do you have to have an appointment, or what?
so that's what he was saying. You can do an appointment. What day?
or Thursdays.
Or Thursdays, all day Thursday. Is it one?
To go buy stuff or get stuff or pick it up or whatever?
Yeah.
All
Yep.
Same thing? Okay.
But
like I'm saying-
Thursdays might be the only day you can pick stuff up.
Okay, well, like I was saying, I don't think that that's advertised to the public really, I don't know
That's
anything
good
about that.
feedback.
Yeah,
No,
that's
that's
good
good feedback.
What if, what is your signage like, saying this is the free, materials center? Is there a sign that is easy to read and so that people who are.
Well, obviously not. I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's inside the building, so yeah,
So it might be really nice, you've got where the parking is, I'm trying to remember, is there a chain link fence? I can't.
That's off to the east where
Okay.
that'd be streets where they got their salt
Okay,
spreaders.
I'm just trying to remember, maybe where they have the signs for where parking, customer parking,
Yeah.
and then they have a arrow, free use center, that shows the way, and that way when people drive by, also they go, oh, what's that about? And want to learn more about it, and maybe you could put it probably is on the Household Hazardous Waste website, but if it's not, then that would be a really good thing to.
I will put it out there. If you guys are really interested about doing it, you got to get there pretty early on Thursdays. 'Cause
So,
there's some
I was gonna-
regular customers.
I was gonna say that I just actually last week went over and was just talking with our household hazardous waste coordinator, and he said that most of the time it's wiped out.
Okay, so really there is not a problem with having stuff that's not being used.
But there are some people that are misusing, that he believes are misusing
Oh.
the materials. But,
Like spray paint and stuff?
yeah, and the paints and,
Yay for that.
and trying to resell it, but
Oh.
I don't think we have a problem getting rid of it.
Do we have a limit on
There's
the
not a
number of
limit.
people?
Not
There's
a
no
limit.
limit?
And
I know Sedgwick County has a limit
they have
on
to
theirs.
sign a log of what they take.
Yeah, yeah.
But pretty much he said that people will come right at the beginning of the day and wipe it out.
So
Yeah, we tried.
I'd be curious to see how many inquiries he gets.
But it'd be good to, I think.
That people come in and there's nothing there because it has been wiped out, and then maybe you could look into putting a limit on.
Yeah.
Which would make some people mad, but it gives more people a chance to use it, because the more you use it, the more you take in.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Or that's the tendency.
Yeah. No, that's good feedback. Thank you.
Yeah, nice discussion. Anything else? If not, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
I move to adjourn.
Second,
Moved and seconded that we adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.